One of his students to provide lecture demonstration. Satish Rao, Vinod uncle's brother-in-law. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so we couldn't make that lecture demonstration happen. So instead, we wanted to see if we can get anywhere closer to KVN, and we have a surprise for you. And this is Sri KVN's own son, Sri Vishwanath. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, can you do it? So Sri Vishwanath, கேக்குறதா எனக்கு பேசுறது? 1 second. கேக்குறதா நீங்க உங்க பேசுறது கேக்குறதா? Okay, we have some technical difficulties. 1 second. Okay, how about now? நீங்க ஏதோ பேசுங்களே. Okay, 1 second. Okay, இப்போ பேசுங்க.
Should it be my
Big song. One second. Technical difficulties. No. In a photo camera. Okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
நாங்க இந்த ஃபெஸ்டிவல் வந்து ஒரு 15 வருஷமா நடத்திட்டு இருக்கோம். இந்த வருஷம் we wanted to pay tribute to your father, Sri KVN. லாஸ்ட் இயரே பண்ணனும் இருந்தோம். லாஸ்ட் இயர் எங்களால பண்ண முடியல. ஃபெஸ்டிவல் நடக்கல. அதனால இந்த வருஷம் பண்றோம். Thank you for accepting to join us and give us some blessings to the kids here.
My pleasure.
உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது நீங்க அப்பாவை பத்தி ஏதாவது சொல்ல முடிஞ்சா it will be very helpful for us.
Sure, I will. Can we start?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
At the outset, I thank Sri Krishna Subramaniam and the organizers of this Margari festival at Detroit for inviting me to speak about my father, Sri KV Narayan Swami, as part of the celebration of his birth centenary. It's a great honor to participate in this tribute to his memory and his contributions to Carnatic music. Appa taught me several varnams and kritis during my school years, which helped shape my understanding and appreciation of Carnatic music. Interestingly, I never learned Sarali Varisai or other basic lessons, and incidentally, my father also never practiced them during his learning days. Although my journey with music paused when I moved to a boarding school for my studies, and later when my career took me away from Chennai, the foundational training I received from him profoundly influenced my taste and approach to classical music. My father was a perfectionist in his art, and this trait reflected in everything he taught his students. He placed immense emphasis on Shruti alignment and Sthana perfection. He was visibly uncomfortable when someone sang off-key. Srimati Vedavalli once remarked in her All India Radio tribute that while all musicians align with Shruti, KVN aligned with it with extraordinary fidelity. KVN aligned. My grandfather would often advise my father to focus first on Shruti alignment, Sthana perfection and open mouth singing. Saying அடக்கி பாடாதே வாயை திறந்து பாடணும். இது எல்லா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்டையும் அவர் ரொம்ப எம்பசைஸ் பண்ணுவார். இந்த அடக்கி பாடுறத கொஞ்சம் கூட விரும்பல அவர். Appa's Akaram singing was pure and open, and he never permitted the use of phrases like Hari and Shalarla or to hold the breath. This is an invaluable lesson for any aspiring vocalist. Akaram singing helps in steadying your voice, you would say. His voice never wobbled. Even in his last concert on 1st January 2002, he had no difficulty in singing in upper octaves without wobbling. His master had a different problem, because someone would say that his master's voice wobbled. But he sang in Nalagatta Shruti in horrible, you know, open auditoriums without good public address system. Therefore, the voice got started wobbling after a period. So, but otherwise, he maintained a lot of discipline in using his voice, which helped him a lot till the last day. His emphasis on clear diction was another hallmark, whether it was Telugu, Sanskrit, Tamil, Malayalam, or Kannadam. Every syllable had to be pronounced with clarity. He avoided habits like chewing pan, saying it would affect his diction. He didn't have any habit whatsoever. I recall an instance when Malladi Suribabu Garu visited us, sang Shripade in Nagaswarali, and praised my father's flawless diction in Telugu, a remarkable feat for someone whose mother tongue were Tamil and Malayalam. Appa also had strong views on rhythm and talam. He insisted on audible, disciplined beats with precise hand gestures, emphasizing that putting talam properly was essential for maintaining kala pramanam. அதாவது இந்த சிலர்லாம் இந்த பீச் எல்லாம் இப்படி பண்ணுவா, அதெல்லாம் he would never accept. He will say நன்னா திருப்பி போடுங்க அப்படின்னு, or காதுல இப்படி கவுண்ட் பண்றதெல்லாம் he would never do all that. Any of his video. Many leading percussionists appreciated his disciplined way of keeping talam, which is a crucial expectation from the main artist. He expected the mridangist to embellish the song and show anticipation during Tharaval and Swaram. He insisted that the mridangist conclude with the song and disliked extended tirmanams after the song, because that would take away the amount of effort you put into the song. So he never liked this mini tani after the main completion of the song. His collaboration with Sri Balgadargu remains memorable, as they had a deep mutual understanding of each other's styles, creating a magical experience for the Rasikas. He structured his concerts sorry, just a moment. I prepared and Appa also, he structured his performances following the model of his great master, Rikud Ramajayengar, often starting with the Varnam and including gems like the Arabi and Srirag Pancharatna Kritis early in the concert. Sri Neveli Santana Gopalan once remarked about his verve-filled rendition of Aripur School of Pancharatna Kritis in a television program. It gives a majestic start to the concert. The main ragam or the RTP in his concert would invariably be a Ganaragam such as Kamboji, Bhairavi, Todi, Shankarabharanam, Karahara Priya, Kiravani or Mohanam, in which he had an expansive repertoire. He paid special attention to the post-main session of the concert, which many refer to as Tukada session. However, I hesitate to use that term, as this segment often elevated the concert to a higher level with soul-stirring pieces. His renditions of Vargalamu in Manji, Sagara Saina Vibho, Mayamma, Enneramum, Krishnani Begani, and Virithams like Panne Nonakana Pujai and Vara Dirandal are still fondly remembered by his Rasikas. His concerts were a masterclass in balance, featuring compositions from all major composers in multiple languages and with varied tala cycles and tempos. I firmly believe that his concert model will stand the test of time. Before I conclude, I want to share what Shruti Shruti's late editor, Sri Pattabhiraman, wrote in his obituary article about my father's music. KVN's music was of gold standard when the currency in vogue was bronze. I once again thank Sri Krishnan Subramaniam for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts about my father and his music. Thank you all.
Sri Vishwanath, thank you so much. And we request you to bless this young artist. And most of the kids here are born and brought up in North America. And they have a very, very great passion for Carnatic music. And of course, your father's music. And thank you. We also have Sri KVN's grandson, Chandrasekhar. Chandrasekhar would like to say a few words.
Good evening to one and all. First of all, thank you very much to Krishnan sir. Firstly, for organizing this wonderful event in tribute of my grandfather, Sri KV Narayan Swami. And secondly, for inviting us and giving us the honor of speaking a few words on him and his music. I don't think I'm qualified to speak about the brilliance of his music or even the technicalities of his music. But I'll spend just a few minutes talking about the impact his music has had on me and my life over the years. I'm personally a big fan of different genres of music and an admirer of many stalwarts in Carnatic music as well. But if there is one musician I find myself returning to every single day, it is my grandfather's music. There is hardly a day that goes by where his music is not played at home. In fact, just a few minutes before I joined this call, I was putting my 3-week-old daughter to sleep with a rendition of my grandfather's Omana Tingal Kidavu, a lullaby in Malayalam composed by Ireman Thambi. My grandfather's music has been a constant companion for me throughout my life. For a large part of my childhood, Carnatic music meant KV Narayan Swami. I used to wake up to his music. My father used to play his cassettes in the car when he used to drop us off at school. We even slept at night listening to his music. I still remember we used to play a CD every night, and the CD had exactly 2 songs on it. Yarandra Raghavane in the Ragam Yadukula Kamboji and Inta Saukyamanine in the Ragam Kapi. The recordings used to play in a constant loop that I still remember to date, even the Kalpanaswarams that he sang for Inta Saukyamanine. The very first song that I learned as an 8-year-old boy, even before starting formal Carnatic music training, was Annapurne Visalakshi in the Ragam Shama, that I learned from my grandfather's recordings right after his passing in 2002. It was after this that my parents decided to formally train me in Carnatic music. So in many ways, KVN Tata's music was the very reason that I even started learning Carnatic music. I've experienced my grandfather's music in so many different ways over the years. There have been moments when I've been filled with an instant surge of energy after listening to him sing kritis like Seetamma Mayamma or Shripate in breathtaking pace. I've also engaged academically with his music, trying to understand its depth and nuance, and there have been innumerable moments when I've been moved to tears listening to his Krishnani Vegane or Varugalamo or Yeppo Varuvaru. There's been a lot spoken about the technical aspects of his music, and my father touched upon some of these aspects too, be it his Shruti Shuddham, his Laya Shuddham, his mind-blowing Nerevals. There have been so many depressing practice sessions I've had when I've tried to imitate his Nereval singing for kritis like Pakkala Nilabadi or Kaliki Unte Kada or Sri Subramanyaya Namaste, and inevitably fall short of it. In fact, those were the moments when I used to think that it cannot be easy being the grandson of such a musician. And of course, there was his Kalpanaswaram singing and his ability to seamlessly use intricate patterns in them, and his brilliant explorations of complicated pallavis like the Chatur Raga Pallavi or the Nalukala Pallavis as well. As students, it's extremely important for all of us to analyze these technical aspects of his music. But at the same time, for me, he was one of those few musicians from whom I could detach all of these technical aspects and just listen to his music for hours together as a normal Rasika. And I put this down to the fact that he had the rare ability to evoke deep emotions from the Rasikas, and that's what made his music extremely special and close to my heart. I just wanted to share a short anecdote of my experience of attending his concert back in January 2002. It was the 1st of January, and my grandfather was scheduled to sing that evening at Astika Samajam in Chennai. I vividly remember I was in my night clothes, arguing with my parents that I do not want to attend the concert and would instead celebrate New Year's with my cousins. After a lot of coaxing, I made a last-minute decision to attend the concert, and that was the concert where he sang a brilliant Inta Saukyamanine with an elaborate Nereval, And there is also a recording of it on YouTube if anyone has not listened to it. And that it turned out to be his last ever concert made this an all the more poignant memory for me. I'd like to conclude by reading a small excerpt from an article by historian V. Sriram on KV Swami. I chanced upon this article long back on the internet, and I thought this paragraph was a beautiful summary of the impact KVN Tata's music had on all Rasikas, including me. In Carnatic music, it is often possible to identify an artist from the demeanor of the audience as it streams out at the end of a performance. Such an exit poll would often show excited conversation, vehement arguments, eulogistic praise, and sometimes sheer awe. For one artist alone, the audience invariably left the hall in complete silence at the end of the performance. For that artist invariably made the audience join him in worshipping music. It was a communion between a musician and many musical souls, and that experience left the audience in a state of bliss, for describing which silence was perhaps the best tribute. That artist was KV Swami. Thank you very much once again to Krishnan sir for giving me this honor, and thank you to everyone in the audience as well.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar, Sri Vishwanath. Thank you so much for taking time to join us, and we will continue with the rest of the program. Thank you.